welcome back to my channel, Curly and Chatty. Today I'm here with Kaylee and Graceland, and we're just going to be talking about Black women stereotypes, going over a few of them because there's so many we cannot talk about all of them. The first question for y'all, Graceland, can you talk about the history of Black women stereotypes?
Okay, well, it first started off with the Jezebel, and that's when the Europeans came to Africa and they noticed how the Black women they had less clothing, which it was hotter in Africa, duh. And so they over sexualized their bodies, and they just made the Black women seem very, said they were just out there, which they had a meaning because it's hot in Africa. But that's what started with the Jezebel.
They thought since they had less clothes that they were trying to be sexual, when in actuality that was just the way they dressed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then I know also just talking about how because of that stereotype, like when the slave trade was going on, Europeans would like justify raping Black women and say it's because, or there couldn't be such thing as raping a Black woman because they wanted that, because of the way they dress. Yeah, and then the Jezebel after that, I know the mammy stereotype is another one. Can you talk about that too a little bit?
See, the mammy, it was more, it kind of happened in like the early film industry when Black women wanted to become actors, and the only roles they would get were the maid or the mammy, and it usually went to like darker skinned, thicker women because that's how they see it. So you have the Jezebel and the mammy, and the Jezebel is too sexual. They're out there, they have less clothing and want to be seen, as you can see. And the mammy is more secluded, and they had more clothing, it was more covered up, and they were a maid, so they took care of everything and did everything. So it was kind of weird. The mammy, it happened within the film industry, like I said, and that just a lot of people couldn't get roles because of that. And it happened, and it gave it to darker skinned women as being like, oh well, dark skinned women can only be mammies and maids, which is kind of sad. So yeah.
And I know they even like profited off of making products and stuff, like having that Black woman on the product. I can't think of the name of some of them.
Jemima.
Oh yeah, that's one of them. Yeah. So they profited off of this Black woman stereotype, mammy. And Kaylee, I'm gonna ask you next. Any stereotypes off the top of your head that you think of or want to talk about?
The strong Black woman stereotype has impacted us for years. Even now, having to work 10% harder and keep going and going and going, we sometimes don't have the opportunity to get sad or stressed or just tired. We were just talking about that earlier. I was saying I want to pick up more at school, but I don't really have the time to think about my mental health because I have to continue pushing. But it's impacted us even in the medical field. Black women are seen as stronger than other races. When women are giving birth, especially through Black women, they may be given less sedatives or less medication to ease their pain, even though they're going through childbirth, which is so traumatic and so hard on everybody's bodies. It's insane. But the strong Black women stereotype has gone on forever, even all the way back then. In certain parts of the South, like Black women working in the fields, and it's infected darker skinned women with, the house and the field mentality, with them being stronger, so they're in the field, and lighter people in the house.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Are there any other stereotypes off the top of y'all's head that y'all can think of?
The one I see all the time, I don't know if it's me being from like Alabama or whatever, but it's like everybody, you have like the one black white friend, and so they call you like whitewashed because you hang out with like a group of people.
The token Black friend.
Right, the token Black friend, and you see, like I have a lot of white friends, and people be like, oh well, you're a white girl. I'm like, no I'm not, I'm me, that's who I am. Just because I have friends and I like trust them don't mean anything. Don't mean it's like I don't want to be Black. Trust me, I love being Black. I cannot do anything else. But like, it's just weird, and it's frustrating because you see, and it happens within the family as well. They look at you differently, and they be like, oh well, you're the white girl. And when it's really not, you just want to be you, and you just that's who your friends are.
It's funny that you say that because I've had lots of experience being called the white girl, like being black, but
Right.
they call me an Oreo, because they're like, oh, she's black on the outside but she's white on the inside. And I used to struggle with myself and like who I was and my identity, because like I even had family members that would joke around with me and be like, Samantha, why do you talk like that or whatever? You talk so proper.
Right.
And I wouldn't understand what that meant, because that's all the way I spoke was the way I spoke. I didn't know what way I was supposed to speak. I thought that was crazy, but when I was younger, I didn't know how to deal with those feelings, because like I said, it would even come from family. So I'm like, well, dang, like what's wrong with me? That was always something that I struggled with. So, you know, I'm glad that you brought that up. It's just sad.
Right.
That's what it's sad to know that you can't just be yourself, that it's like, oh, if I'm black, like again, this stereotype, I'm expected to act a certain way. And I hate seeing like the angry black woman stereotype. That definitely, I see that all over television. So I know you were talking about the mammy in the TV industry then at that time. Now it's transitioned to, you always have to have that angry black friend that she's always ready to fight. And I think that that's sad. And my question for you guys, I guess, to wrap this up would be, what can we do to stop these black stereotypes from happening, or is there anything we can do, you know? Because
I don't think it's an us problem. I think it's other people and how they perceive us. I mean, black is not a monolith. We have so many different personalities, so many different cultures, so many different vibes within the black community. And just because it may fit a stereotype. So if somebody is strong and they are unapologetically themselves, they shouldn't have to change themselves just because it fits a stereotype. If somebody is naturally loud and they are having fun, why should they have to change that just because it fits into that stereotype and people don't like that? That's up to other people to change their thinking. I don't think it's really up to us, because you should want to be yourself.
Right.
Especially if you aren't hurting anyone and you're just speaking your truth.
Yep.
But with us, I think that we should continue being ourselves, even if you fit one of the stereotypes, and just allow other people to grow and change.
Absolutely. And that's why videos like this are made, folks. Learn about it. I'm going to share in the description a video Gracelyn had shared with me and my class, in my women's studies class, because we take that class together, just to bring awareness, and because it's important to learn about. These two girls are in Lucy's Legacy with me. For those who don't know, Lucy's Legacy is a program where, you know, women of color dorm together and we take a women's studies class, and we can have conversations like this. So I'm really grateful for you guys joining me today.
Thank you for
talking about a few of the stereotypes. There's so many,
just
but yeah. All right, guys. Until next time. Peace out. So it's okay.
Crap, Kaylee.
I was trying to hold it in.
Not timid. That's not a word.
Timid is a
I know
word.
it's timid a word.
Okay, wait.
You want to say?
I'm gonna ask that one more time. I'm gonna ask that one more time.